Those were, it seems, the happy times. Paris, or Paris, no matter how you pronounce it, the magic is the same. Music and musicians, as it was in those carefree days, Paris had one song which, above all others, was unmistakably Parisian. This was the cry of the vendors at the marketplace. At daybreak, a kitchen garden opens on narrow cobbled streets freighted with history. Out of the early morning mists, some questionable characters emerge. If they are thieves, the gendarmes will be in hot pursuit, fully mechanized naturally. In the neatest trick of the week, the law is forced to take its course on foot. Have they gone, these culprits? Are they lost in the shadows of the old streets or hiding along the quays? The city is waking up. Life stirs first on the Seine. The little boats are giving way to the larger ones, which will chug up the river as far as Suresnes. Not far away, that soaring structure, the Eiffel Tower, emerges with the day. Its detractors call it ugly, baroque, vulgar, a product of mercantile imagination. Monsieur Eiffel, builder of the tower, is not made happy by these attacks. The people, however, are on his side. They take his tower to their hearts. It amuses them, pleases them. They stand in long queues to go up in its elevators. Comforted by this, Monsieur Eiffel can smile. Monsieur Loubet, the President of France, is as aware as a politician must be of what people think. Accordingly, during the exposition, he holds official banquets in the Tower restaurant. The altitude doesn't seem to affect the appetite of the guests. The exposition attracts 51 million visitors, and 51 million visitors can't be wrong. They admire the buildings, but show special interest in Monsieur Eiffel's tower. The Third Republic, finally convinced, claims it as one of its glories. The new president is Monsieur Pallière, the embodiment of those prosperous, unfrowning years. Santa Claus could not be more cheerful. He has become the symbol of a France contented, sentimental, and perhaps a little smug. His amiability is indestructible. He welcomes, he presides, yet he is sometimes disturbed. Even at a hunt, he can whisper, "My little business in the provinces, it isn't doing too well." He returns home, then reassured because he's nothing if not an optimist, he's off again on another tour. In Tunisia, he is received, saluted, entertained. Still smiling, he is taken for something of a ride. In short, le président est bien content. Monsieur Lépine, prefect of police, is also happy, at least for a policeman. In Paris, he is opening a station for another railway, full-sized in this case. In America, it is known as the subway. In London, as the underground. In Paris, as the metro. Monsieur Lépine, with his guests, sets out on an inspection of this new kind of underworld. The new subterranean realm has launched a new style of architecture, the modern or metro style, as it is called by those who regret it. Its inspiration is industry itself. Industry with its open use of steel and iron, its frank functionalism, with something, as one critic put it, of the disorder of nature thrown in. Tastes in interiors, no less than exteriors, are changing. Monsieur Majorelle's innovational furniture was a sensation at the exposition. He is certain that the search for novelty need not conflict with good taste. An allegorical nude is shown, a product of the new Bronze Age. Though undeniably traditional in her contours, she symbolizes modernism. The salon leads us to manners, indeed to etiquette. "You know how to sit down?" asks Baroness de Staff, author of Advice to the Worldly. "You know how to walk in a hobble skirt and to conserve those graceful movements which are music to men's eyes?" It is up to date to offer the left hand to a female acquaintance who offers you her right. This, of course, is something ladies should never do in the presence of a gentleman. If we are among intimate friends, we can let ourselves go a little without going so far as to cross our legs in public. The same subtleties and judgment prevail in all facets of feminine existence. They dominate the sacred rites of selecting hats and hairdos. Hair, perfumed with the scent of violets or sandalwood, twisted into all shapes, these can only be achieved with the aid of experts. When you cover this elaborate handiwork with a hat and secure it with a hat pin, be careful not to injure the eyes that admire you. Any audacity is permitted, so long as you're certain it's in good taste. You could even improvise, slipping a spare handbag over your head, no matter that the bag is embroidered or edged with pearls. Another delicate subject is the choice of jewels. This also requires taste. Money, too. If, as a woman, you want to be in the height of fashion, you can drape yourself, as Marcel Prince does, in lamé, silver or gold or copper color. On the other hand, you may prefer, as does the equally famous Gabrielle Dosia, light tules and the perfume of flowers. Or you may present, as the newest winter model, such a costume as this. These are gowns which only the great couturiers would dream of imposing upon the slaves of fashion. Sheaths of heavy black silk, cuirasses of velvet, coats of mail made of lace or jet. Cappiello has immortalized the faces of the great designers. M. Doyer, Jacques Doucet, Jean Worth, Caroline Raboux, Monsieur Rouff, who is so well versed in the caprices of women. But a brand new and shocking type of female, the sportswoman, is emerging. For obvious reasons, and reasons she wants to be obvious, she refuses to be imprisoned by long skirts. The public unveiling, so to speak, of the first girl in trousers creates a scandal. But women everywhere are on the march. Since they are beginning to do the work of men, it seems normal enough to have them wear masculine apparel. London has women electricians. Paris, it's women cabbies. Women are demanding a new life, new rights, too. They want liberty and equality, if not fraternity. The suffrage movement is in full swing. Mrs. Pankhurst is their leader. Her hat may not be pretty, but it's a statement of principles. Others elect to gain their ends in more feminine ways. They prefer persuasion to mass meetings. They find a sedate garden party an excellent means of weakening the stronger sex. Liberation is the slogan of the day. Liberation not only from male dictatorship, but from the restraints of that even more painful tyrant, the corset. The corset, some insist, is a Bastille. But its fall brings other problems, such as how to keep skirts, petticoats, and stockings from falling, too. Women may not yet be entirely free, but at any rate they breathe more freely. Moreover, they can compare their figures partially or fully liberated from that instrument of torture which authorities now condemn in the name of health. A typical bromide of the period is our grandmothers didn't expose their calves on bicycles, but somehow or other they stayed healthy. Another common remark is one can't help wondering what's left for her husband. Modesty is becoming a lost art. Celebrated or unknown, the modern woman is eager to be photographed. Painted, too. Marcelle Lender, for instance, the famous actress-dancer with the chalky cheeks, the white face, and the beautiful back. With her are Léon de Pougy and Caroline Otero, known as La Belle Otero. Otero is beautiful, disturbing, and disturbed, as likely to dance at noon in the garden of an admirer as she is after midnight for the diners at the Café de Paris. Cléo de Maraude is another publicized figure from the gay and lurid Bohemia of Toulouse-Lautrec. At the exposition, she does an exotic dance from the Far East. Although the purists insist it's not quite authentic, they admit it's delightful and let it and her go at that. Eccentricities become commonplace. Paul Bourget describes such sirens, saying, "She arches her back, avowedly to avoid me, but really she pretends to be enraged, while actually she is embracing me with her eyes." Here's a daring new French film. About what? Love, of course, and a lover to whom a wall is no obstacle. His note sets off the desired conflagration. The rendezvous finally takes place, but moralists need not worry. Everyone will suffer. Films, plays, and novels, the dueling scene is a stock in trade. But Monsieur Woolley, whose successful vaudeville sketches refuses to take even love seriously. Willie is married to Colette, who is to become one of the most widely read French novelists. Interested in health, they take the country. Such exercise is not without its peril. Perhaps it would be better if there were a sign reading, "Keep off the grass." Follies, more follies, nor is the call of the wild always responsible. Science, true or false, must bear some of the blame. Professor Richet has made hypnotism fashionable as a means of curing psychic disturbances. This doctor is obviously one of the professor's disciples. Persuades his patient to describe the dreams which have been troubling her. She is and schizophrenic desire for revenge. At least it can be said of Professor Richet's follower that he doesn't drag out his cures. Having put her to sleep, he wakes her in a hurry. In a miraculously short time, he has solved her deep-rooted conflict. Professor Coué has a simpler cure. Even America knows he's every day in every way, "I'm getting better and better." The French version is every day and every night, "I'm getting better and better." Many husbands have their wives photographed while asleep. Another fad, women have themselves vaccinated in public. This is also a man's town. Safe from intruding females, they find one way of exercising without effort. Others discuss the latest books or sporting events. Boni de Castellane, husband of Anna Gould. Robert de Montesquieu, whose oddities Proust transcribed. Pierre Louÿs. Oscar Wilde, after his imprisonment, still perfumed and idolized. De Max, the venerated tragedian. Marcel Proust, novelist extraordinary. He is brilliantly at work recording the social scene around him. As the century advances, it becomes clear that the Paris of M. Proust is changing as well as the France of M. Fallières. The allure of the ladies who promenade in the Bois is no longer quite the same. Their gait is less languid. They not only want to see, they want to be seen. With the coming of May, everything turns white. White for linens, embroideries, starched blouses, knots of ribbon and flowers. The season of carnivals, races, and athletic contests has arrived. With the white season come the red-blooded devotees of sport. The winner of this cross-country military race is Jeanne Boué. Georges Carpentier is a hopeful novice of whom great things are expected. An important international conflict, football, England against France. The modern sportsman, dynamic, intrepid. Rivière, a champion cyclist, invents the chainless bicycle. Automobilists try constantly to beat their own records. Racers dream of doing 45 miles an hour. Others dream of conquering the air. The Count Lavaux, a leading aeronaut about to make a balloon ascension, speaks a few words on the future of dirigibles. The Duchess d'Uzès is more down to earth in her sporting tastes, being a huntress both of foxes and celebrities. Gabriele D'Annunzio, the tempestuous Italian writer, owns racing dogs almost as sleek and impatient as he is.
La chasse, le vin et les belles, c'était le refrain de Bourbon. Il rencontrait peu de cruels et trouvait toujours le vin bon. Ses maîtresses étaient fidèles et ses chiens avaient du renom.
The Duchess leaves her estate for one of those fashionable weddings, which are the delight of the Faubourg Saint-Germain. The honeymoon starts from the Gare de Lyon. Perhaps headed for Nice and the Promenade des Anglais. But we're wandering too far from Paris. Now the social season is at its height. Not even the rain can dampen it. Members of the French Academy are holding a reception. They call themselves immortals. This is one way of tempting Providence. That same rain which dares to drop on an immortal doesn't spare Paris. In 1910, the Seine is in a menacing mood. The water level is rising daily. How much can be told by watching the statue of the Zouave on the Pont de l'Alma. Paris has never known such a flood. It is worse than a tornado, worse than a war. But wars are fortunately things of the past. The metro of Lépine is endangered. What will become of Monsieur Eiffel's tower? Will it be a lighthouse? In the distance is the Place de la Bastille, stormed for the first time by boats. Rowboats replace taxis to reach the Gare Saint-Lazare. Paris begins to resemble Venice. Commuters in particular are fed up. It's no fun taking a raft from the suburbs to get to work in the city. Fortunately, the waters at last begin to subside. A horse is fished from the Seine. The city sighs with relief. The Zouave on the Alma is dry again. Monsieur Fallier's Paris can smile once more. Season is beginning and Paris prepares for a carnival. The prospect of this delights the midinettes in the Place Vendôme. Who will be Queen of Paris this year? A modiste? A flower girl? What Cinderella from what section? The world of fashion shows its interest in these plans. Seeds are distributed so that midinettes can have flower boxes on their balconies. Escorted by a city councilman, the newly elected queen enters her carriage. She is Marie Poirier. Ordinarily, she presides over a stall in the market. Paris relaxes and enjoys itself. Le Président est bien content. Amusement parks are jammed. Foreign exhibits attract vast crowds. The Dragon at Luna Park is confronted with all kinds of sights. Turkish, Chinese, and Japanese shows are all the rage. Fabulous American Buffalo Bill on a world tour delights Paris with his Wild West show. For Sunday strollers, a grand concert in the Jardin des Plantes. Some of the unmusical prefer to fathom the secrets of nature or examine the exotic plants, source of Monsieur Majorelle's furniture designs. In the heat of the greenhouses, iris, fuchsias, and orchids are in full bloom. But the heat is not limited to the greenhouse. Summer has overtaken Paris. Parisians seek a whiff of fresh air on the towers of Notre Dame or along the banks of the Seine. Others, for 2 sous, take the little excursion boats. Even the heat, however, cannot lessen the zeal for celebrating the 14th of July. There is dancing in the streets. August 15th, Assumption Day. Paris is almost deserted. A kind Englishman who was in Paris during the Franco-Prussian War donated 100 of these fountains where horses can stop for a quick one. Humans try to find relief at sidewalk cafes. And early but familiar aspects of the Parisian scene are now reported going undercover. Anyone who can get away and crowd onto a train leaves Paris for a little vacation. Although Vichy can be hotter than Paris, its waters are health restoring. There is also the casino and the music pavilion. Only a man equipped like this one with a hazel wand can tell where the next spring will shoot up. Many families prefer the seashore and push their way onto trains to get there. The costumes for bathing are simple and comfortable, guaranteeing protection from the sun and curious eyes. A few modest souls don't take to the water, but are taken to it in these cabins on wheels in which they can change their clothes. What the well-dressed bather wears reduces the threat of sunburn, though adding to the problems of staying afloat.